Hey, do you want to get rich with penny stocks? Are you an investor that wants to get rich with penny stocks? Well, look, here is what you must absolutely know. Look, whether we're talking about a 5-cent stock, $5 stock, basically we're talking about cheap stocks, right? And when it comes to these cheap stocks, the one thing that is absolutely necessary, now again, they may have a great story, they may have multiple catalysts, the big market opportunity, all that good stuff, even news flow, right? Even great CEO, great news flow, but if they do not have proper stock promotion, meaning an advocate for somebody who's out there creating market awareness, getting investor eyeballs onto the stock in an ongoing, consistent way, scaling up massively, right? So it's not just a one-shot, conference thing, not just a one-shot, some email blast, pump and dump bullshit. No. Talk about a serious ongoing campaign to get millions of investors to discover this stock, right? That is what makes stocks go up. Without having that in place, without having that promotional campaign in place, that stock is not going to get discovered, my friends. And what's going to happen is you're going to be very frustrated. What you do not want, what you absolutely do not want to have is you don't want to be holding on to, a great company that, they have a great story, whatever it is that they have, but, nobody cares about it, right? Nobody cares about it. Nobody knows about it. So how can a stock go up? How can a stock go up without having that type of visibility, right? Look, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears about it, did it make a sound, right? I mean, it's the same idea, right? Look, there's a reason why they call me the $1 trillion man. Okay, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I've created over $1 trillion in shareholder value. That's right. I've helped investors like you get over $1 trillion, over the past 25 years. It wasn't overnight. Thousands of companies have increased, anywhere from 50%, 30%, but we're talking about those are big cap companies, to many, many 10 baggers, 20 baggers, 50 baggers, and quite a few 100 baggers. Way too many doubles and triples to count. Look, what I'm really focused on right now, for the last few years, really, I've been focusing most of my time on just introducing investors to only super stocks that have that 10x to 100x upside. I haven't really bothered with, nice, just decent companies that, could be doubles or triples. It just hasn't been worth my time. I might actually start doing that this year, the next 12 months, because I think there's a lot of need for that. And, I think that's it's something that is, the market needs. I'm happy to provide that service. So, but again, here's what Wall Street Reporter, what my company does very different than other promoters out there, right? Look, why do we have such a massive track record? Why is it that whenever we bring a stock onto our platform, the stock pops, right? Why is it? The reason, my friends, is very simple. It's because there's really three things. Number one is, I can't overemphasize this. I think most of you guys don't really understand the importance of this, unless you're like a propaganda genius, a master of marketing. Wall Street Reporter brand name is an incredibly powerful brand. It's been around since 1843. It's 180 years of history, and that becomes part of the psyche. Even people may have heard of it, they may not have heard of it. One of those great brands, it becomes embedded. It's an elevated brand. Very similar look to Rolex, Rolls-Royce, Mercedes, Chanel, Supreme. That's Supreme, the skateboard brand. Look, these brands, you put that brand on any product, the value of that product automatically goes up, and there's a market demand for it. Same thing with Wall Street Reporter. Same idea is in place. Now, so you got the powerful brand. Then number two is you got track record. So that creates the brand equity, right? The track record all those stocks having so many multi-bagger stocks. I mean, more multi-bagger stocks than any other, IR, PR, promote, whatever you want to call these people. They're all out there. Look, they provide a valuable service. I mean, most of them are mediocre. I'm not trying to knock my competitors or anything, but look, they're not able to scale campaigns. We have some specific things we do which allow us to constantly get thousands and thousands of new eyeballs onto a stock. Okay, most of these guys, they have a very small, limited audience, and after about a couple of weeks, they've shot their load. That's it. Everybody that they have in their limited audience is found out about the stock, and they can't do anything more. So, that's it. There's nothing else they could do. However, if you've noticed with Wall Street Reporter, we're constantly, week after week, we're getting new eyeballs onto that stock. And that's what's needed to, get the stock moving. Finally, look, it's a secret weapon is, the force multiplier effect that we have with, again, because of that track record that we've had. There's a lot of influencers, newsletter writers, influencers, guys who have thousands of followers, and we have hundreds of those people. We have hundreds of these influencers who track Wall Street Reporter's stocks that we bring onto the platform. And, they share that idea with their audiences. You multiply it a couple times, you're talking about millions of people. And it all adds up. That is why we've been so effective with stocks. Now, look, there's a limit. There's a limit to promotion. I got to be very candid with you. We've had so much massive success in the last few years. 10 baggers, 20 baggers, and 50 baggers. Literally, almost every stock at one point, every stock we were introducing was going up 10x. And it's not luck. It really isn't luck. It's a question of timing. Preparation meets opportunity. I mean, sometimes. It takes a year to get a 10 bagger, and these things are happening in 4 months. So it was, it was a little bit of luck in terms of timing wise, but those stocks would have become 10 baggers, in 12 months. It didn't have to happen in 4 months. But here's what happened. Look, because we've had so much success, unfortunately, we got approached by a lot of companies that they had a good story. I mean, they had on the surface, they had the right ingredients, but it was really interesting. It was kind of funny in a way where, I mean, actually it wasn't funny, but look, these guys, they came onto the platform and they just fizzled out. They never delivered news flow afterwards, or they were fakers. I talk about fake it till you make it. That's one of the types of companies to watch out for. Well, these guys were just. It wasn't the real deal. That's why I tell you guys, the only way you know if a company is real is if there is a news flow follow-up. So in other words, once they debut on our platform, they have a consistent flow of news, consistent, there's a cadence. That's the only way you really know. I mean, I don't know myself even sometimes. Because, look, some of our biggest winners have been companies, they all have some issues. They all have some of the biggest winners, they all, look, CBDT, that stock, we introduced at a nickel, went to $2.50. It wasn't a perfect situation when we brought it onto our platform. It had a lot of hair on it, so to speak. And now I thought it could become a 10 bagger. I never in my imagination, I mean, believe me, the fact that it went to 250 became a 50x in 4 months, 6 months, whatever that is. I was not expecting. A 10x, I thought that stock had a 10x in it. It had, the right ingredients. But again, that one also, it kind of fizzled out because the CEO didn't deliver the news flow. They didn't have the right execution to sustain those valuations. But again, that last $2 from 50 cents to 250, that really was that was kind of a market euphoria. That's one of those rare situations that happens every once in a while. That stock really should have probably gone to maybe 75 cents. That would have been fair value. 50 based on what they had at the time. But look, market euphoria is something that happens that, like, nobody can control, right? At that point, the stock is, it's, madness of the crowd. I mean, you see that happen with different asset classes. It's something which nobody really can control. But look, the point is that we've had we did bring on a couple of companies that they kind of fizzled out because they weren't able to deliver the news flow. But I think, quite frankly, if you follow some of the stuff I've been talking about in some of these videos, in terms of verifying, the verification process. In other words, in terms of follow on to make sure that these things are real, you probably would have sold out of those stocks, taken a small hit, and part of this game is you're going to be taking the losses. Part of this game is you're going to be taking the losses because that's the business of venture capital. VCs take a lot of losses. For every 100 bag or 50 bag or whatever it is that they have. They have 10 losers. I mean, the whole business model is based on, it's based on having, 1 out of 10 become a massive home run. The rest could go to zero. They don't really care. I look at it the same way. So anyway, that's the business of stock promotion.